Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday morning, and I appreciate you being here once again. What do we have to talk about today? Well, it's award season, so that will be one of our topics. Exciting times ahead with several nominations involving Celtic. We might also discuss current Celtic players and potentially a future signing. In addition, there was some injury news yesterday, and we'll break that down talking about what happened and how it could impact the squad. The big question is, will he be ready in time for the crucial Champions League knockout match? As mentioned, we'll explore that issue. We also have a derby coming up this weekend, with Celtic fans returning to Ibrox for the first time in several years, back to the Broomloan end for the first time since 2018. Let's get into all of it. Let's begin with the injury situation. No delays today. A report from a reliable source came out shortly after yesterday's video was posted. That report suggested Celtic were on the verge of confirming that a player's season was over. Just to recap quickly, he was forced off due to an injury from a collision in the first half of Saturday's game, around the 32nd or 33rd minute. At the time, it looked like an impact injury. It's unclear whether it'll lead to a long-term absence or if it was more about how he fell or twisted something. My gut tells me it's more likely the latter. It was obvious pretty quickly that he was in serious pain. He returned after the match to celebrate, holding up his crutches. Reminded me of a certain player from a few years ago. The report indicates he'll be out for several months due to a meniscus injury, part of the knee. That would clearly rule him out for the rest of the season and possibly the beginning of the next. A few key dates for context. The new Premiership season begins on the weekend of August 2nd and 3rd, and the first Champions League playoff match is on August 19th or 20th. By my count, that's 16 weeks from now. So there should be enough time for recovery. I don't know if surgery is required or what the exact situation is, but it's a serious injury the club will need to handle carefully, and they will. This situation reminds me of a similar knee injury a player dealt with years ago. It was slightly different since that player had knee trouble for most of the season. You might recall he played in that cup semi-final I'm referencing, then basically took the rest of the season off. He underwent surgery and returned just in time for the final preseason game. Unfortunately, he got injured again a few games later and missed several weeks. I believe it was in his last match before returning for a key fixture where he made an error. I'm not sure if that was directly tied to the prior injury. Why am I bringing this up? I don't really know. Maybe it's just evidence of how these situations need to be handled very seriously, which I'm confident the club is fully aware of. In the short term, yes, I don't expect to see him again this season. The clear beneficiary, if that's the right word, would be Adam, who will likely start most matches from now on. Dice Maida should return to the left-hand side, where he's been outstanding lately, so that adjustment shouldn't cause much disruption. It may also benefit H, and players like James Forrest and Hun Jun Yang can fill in on the wing as well. Everything seems in decent shape. I hope we'll have a Brendan Rodgers interview on the club's TV channel this week, especially after winning the league title over the weekend and with a derby approaching. We've been waiting to hear from him since Friday's press conference, so I imagine we'll get an update today or tomorrow. As we look ahead to the weekend and the derby, I also expect some kind of update on J.A., similar to what we got with Kasper Schmeichel. It's unfortunate for J.A., especially looking to next season, when everyone hoped he'd have a full preseason and hit the ground running. It's a challenge, but I trust the club will manage things well, and I don't think this setback will derail our hopes of a treble. Ideally, he'll be available for the most important match of next season, the Champions League qualifying tie, which stands out among next year's fixtures. If not, it'll simply be an opportunity for someone else to step up. We also received the PFA Scotland Award nominations yesterday, and 3 of the 4 Premiership Player of the Year nominees are from our club, which is quite rare. This may have happened before, but typically you only see 2 from one club. Honestly, it could have been 4. Still, I have no issue with Simon Murray from Dundee being included. He's had an excellent season, scoring 20 goals across all competitions, which is impressive for a Dundee player. Callum McGregor, Dalmeida, and Nicholas are all fair picks. I was a bit surprised to see Kasper Schmeichel left out, given the impact he's had. Maybe people forgot he was injured for about a month. His form might have dipped slightly compared to the first half of the season, but he should be on that list. That said, I can't complain about the picks involving our players. Callum McGregor had a strong season, and Nicholas probably did just enough in the first half to earn his nomination. But it does seem like Dyson will win. Callum even commented yesterday that everyone knows who's probably going to get it. He revealed who he voted for and didn't realize players couldn't vote for teammates. Now that I think about it, it makes sense. Otherwise, voting would be too skewed. For instance, players on a struggling team might only vote amongst themselves, whereas voting across clubs leads to more balance. So, Callum voted for Simon Murray, acknowledging his great season. The Young Player of the Year category includes Ari Engels, Hamza Garman from Rangers, James Wilson from Hearts, and Lennon Miller from Motherwell. Looking ahead to our midfield next season, it'll be interesting to see Engels and Miller possibly playing together. Given the hype around Lennon Miller, he's the clear favorite in that category. Another Celtic nominee is Emma Lorton from our women's team, who is up for SWPL Player of the Year alongside Ayat Adams from Hibs and Katie Wilkinson. The new season will likely feature a promising player taking the central midfield role. Given the expectations around Lennon Miller, he appears to be the leading candidate. As for Emma Lorton, it's great to see her receive recognition, even if enthusiasm around these awards can be a bit muted. Honestly, do you really care? Maybe. That sounds harsh, but it's hard to get overly excited about who wins a PFA award. It doesn't change much for me. Dyson is widely expected to win, and deservedly so. But beyond that, it feels like an end-of-season formality. Speaking of formalities, now our attention shifts to this weekend's derby. Celtic players are returning to training after a few days off to celebrate the title. What have they been doing? One of them dressed up his dog and called it our little champion. I'm not totally convinced. That might warrant a fine in my book. Still, it opens up the chance for some fun Celtic player dog puns. How about Mutt O'Reilly, Ken O'Dellish, Ball Crows? Bit of a stretch. Or Badger Spaniel Kaduri. Anyway, like I said, we're gearing up for Sunday's derby, and it still holds huge importance for everyone involved. A few years back, we went to Ibrox the week after winning the title at Tynecastle. The schedule is similar now. We lost at Ibrox, and the performance was dreadful. I remember the Player of the Year event was the next evening. I was there. The players seemed completely unfazed by the derby loss the day before. It didn't appear to bother them with the league title already wrapped up. The rivals celebrated their win under their manager, and it all felt like it clicked for them. This year, though, feels a bit different. We've just won the league, had all the usual celebrations, and there's a shared excitement about possibly securing another league title and maintaining our consistency. Even so, I feel like there's a lot riding on this weekend in terms of how the season is perceived. I've seen a lot of commentary floating around, and as I always say, people are entitled to their opinion. Many claim they'd be happy winning the league every year, even if we lost every derby. I can tell you that's not how it works. Winning the league is the main goal, no doubt, but losing every derby is deflating. We haven't lost every derby this season, but if we lose again on Sunday, that would make it 3 derbies without a win. And that would definitely leave a sour taste for many when looking back on this campaign. Securing a treble would still be an achievement. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There's cause for celebration in the East End of Glasgow tonight, as Celtic have pulled off a tremendous piece of business. James Milner, the seasoned veteran and Premier League legend, is officially a Celtic player, and best of all, he's arrived on a free transfer. It's the sort of signing that sends a surge of excitement through the fan base, not just for the name, but for everything the man represents. Leadership, work rate, and a mentality forged in the fiercest competitions of English football. At 38 years of age, some might be tempted to question what Milner still has to offer, but those who know him well understand that doubting James Milner is a fool's errand. Throughout a glittering career spanning nearly 2 decades at the top level, he has consistently defied expectations. From his early days as a teenage prodigy at Leeds United to lifting the Premier League title with both Manchester City and Liverpool, Milner has built a reputation as one of the most reliable and professional players of his generation. And now he brings that immense experience north of the border to Parkhead. The timing of his arrival could not be better. Celtic, aiming to consolidate their dominance in Scotland and make a serious impact in Europe, needed a figure with precisely the sort of pedigree Milner provides. His versatility, able to operate in midfield, full back, or even on the wing if needed, gives the manager a priceless option heading into a demanding campaign. Off the pitch, Milner's influence will be just as vital, guiding younger players and raising the standards inside the dressing room. It is rare to secure a player of Milner's stature without paying a transfer fee, and it speaks volumes about Celtic's pull as a club steeped in history and ambition. The fans, famous for their passion and loyalty, will undoubtedly embrace Milner as one of their own. In a summer where smart recruitment is key, this deal stands out as a master stroke. There will be plenty of battles to come in the months ahead, but tonight Celtic supporters can smile wide. James Milner is wearing the hoops. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.